Tammy J, and you are listening to the Tammy J It Happened show. I'm so excited. This is our second show. This is our second podcast, and we are ready. Well, I am ready. I don't have a staff just yet. If you're interested, please let me know. I am so excited for this show because, as promised, we are going to talk about the book, Don't Be That Parent. I have a word of the week for you today. I have a story that I have to tell you about an event that happened to me in New York. Like I said, every week there is always something. I have a special guest that's going to be on the show today that's going to talk about the book, Don't Be That Parent, but they're going to come at it from a parent perspective. I also have a current event. And then, of course, we have the intro music. I love it. I love it. Every time I hear it, I'm like, okay, I wish there was a beat. Maybe we can have a contest to see if somebody can come up with a song for that. That would be awesome. All right, let's get ready for our show. Our word for the week is recidivate. Recidivate actually means to return to a previous pattern of behavior, especially to return to criminal habit. A sentence for this would be, those who recidivate are often minor criminals. So those who return to criminal behaviors or criminal habits, so it's like a backsliding. It's like someone that goes back to doing bad things. So that is the word for the week. Well, everybody should know what the current event for the week is. It's definitely the Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman case. So many people have been speaking on this, and at this point, I'll be honest, it makes me a little upset to even see and hear some of the commentary. It's not that I don't understand, I'm appalled. We as a society, we should be further than this. It's not undercover, it's not hidden, it's blatant. And I think that blatant was in the 60s. Now this is 2013. We don't see blatant racism. And I think that it is unfortunate because it's one of those things that it's not necessarily that it's tricky, but it's one of those things that really hits home for a lot of people, no matter what race you are. This is a travesty no matter what color you are. It's a problem. Because if George Zimmerman would have gunned down any boy that was unarmed and not causing any trouble, that is a problem. But I don't care what color he was, it should not have happened. It is not okay. We want to discuss whether it was racism. We want to discuss whether he was profiled. We want to discuss whether he, acted in self-defense. All you have to do is listen to the 911 call. That speaks to every single issue. Yes, he was profiled. Yes, it was racism. No, it was not self-defense. Because if you would have stayed in your car like you were instructed to, you wouldn't have never been confronted with the boy. Never. And I don't care what color he was. It's blatant because it's allowed. Now it's being allowed. That's the problem I'm having. It is being allowed. It happened. That's horrible. That's horrific. But now it is from leadership, from the head, from the judicial system. It is being allowed. And that, listeners, is a problem. Yes, we should protest. Yes, we should picket. Yes, we should boycott. All of that. Because we're taking it back to the 60s. Blatant. And under the court of law, it's okay. It also doesn't help that in Philadelphia, they are closing 23 schools down, and they're going to build a $400 million state-of-the-art prison system. In Chicago, they are closing 53 schools. So if we don't have the education and we're putting the funds for education into the prison system because we're not going to try to fix what's wrong or what's broken, then what options do we have? It sounds more like the system is set up for failure. Some of our kids don't even have a chance. And unfortunately, I think that all of these things are related. Trayvon Martin, George Zimmerman, education, society, culture, because we have a serious problem. But instead of trying to fix the problem, we will shut things down. Schools were the cornerstone of our communities at one point. Now we're shutting them down and we're building bigger and better prisons. bigger and better prisons, and we're burying our kids and they're going to jail. This is a problem and it needs to be fixed. It doesn't start and stop with this case. This is just another example, but it needs to be fixed. There's a root to it, and we need to get to that root as a society so we can grow, learn, collaborate, evolve, and mature from this as a society. We need to be better for our future. As you can see, I am really saddened by this. That's one of the reasons why I am writing another book. It's not just me, it's me and several other people. Those people include people that have gone to college, have not gone to college, are in prison, or have been in prison. And what we're really going to focus on is the letters that we are writing to the youth of today in urban areas, specifically saying no matter where you are now, you do not have to remain there. No matter what your circumstances have brought you to, you do not have to stay there. And this is something that I am very passionate about, and many people are passionate about. And so I would really love to hear your feedback. I would really love to hear your comments on the current event for the week, even the book, that we are writing. And I really, want to hear from you guys about your thoughts on this particular issue, because it is a problem. All right, we're going to transition into my It Happens moment. Of course, it happened in New York, and I have to tell you the story. I work in a building that is owned by New York City Department of Education. So basically, it is a school. Currently, there's a charter school, and there is another public school within the building. I have to give you that background so you have some sort of understanding. I'm working in East Harlem, and so what happens is, this is the first time that I stayed really late. I decided to stay late, so I was there till about 8 o'clock. I'm getting ready to leave, so I come downstairs, and mind you, I work on the 5th floor. So I come downstairs and I see these people gathered at the table. I start to leave out my normal exit. However, there's this sign on the door that says, "Do not leave this way from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Your actions will be punishable by the New York City Police Department if you leave this exit." So I'm like, you know what? Let me not leave out this door, because I will be the one where I walk out the door and alarms and bells and everything else start going off. So I said, fine, I'll go. So I go back and I see the people that were sitting at the table, and I asked them, how do you get out of here? So they said, oh, you need to go exit using this exit. I said, okay. So I get ready to leave, but I saw another exit on my way. So I go over there and I leave that way. And I'm like, great. I'm singing. I'm like, okay, I'm out of here. Woohoo. So I'm getting ready to leave. I start walking, and there's like 3 basketball courts on the outside of where I'm at. And nobody's there because it's raining outside. I'm walking towards the gate, and I see that the gate is closed, but I'm like, okay, whatever. They probably just closed the gate to deter people from coming in. I get closer up on the gate, and it's chained. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm like, fine, I'm going to have to go the other way. So I start walking back towards where I came from, but further down, because the steps that I came from out of, they were in the middle of the actual building. So I had to go on the complete other side. And it looks like the gate is closed, and I think I see a chain, but I wear glasses, so I wasn't sure. So I go over, and then I get closer to the gate. There's a lock on the gate. I panic. Absolute panic has now entered into my heart. So now I'm getting a little scared. It's raining. There's no way for me to get out. And the door that I just left out of are these steel doors. I mean, steel. They're the old school doors. There's no getting in and there is no getting out. So I'm like, good Lord. I'm like, okay. So I start looking for holes in the gates. Because again, there are 3 basketball courts that I'm looking at. However, there is nobody on the courts at all. Nobody. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I go back, I start walking back towards the other gate, thinking to myself, maybe I can, squeeze. And I'm not a small chickadee. So I'm like, I'm not all that big, but I'm not small either. So I'm like, like I really don't know what I'm going to do. So I pushed the gate forward, and well, it didn't do much. Let me put it that way. After I pushed it, so I'm looking for holes in the gate, because I'm like, I think I'm going to have to crawl under the gate. And I'm looking, I'm walking and looking, and then I see this couple walk past. And so then I was like, oh, well, maybe if I tell them, they can ring the doorbell or knock on the door. But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, I think maybe I need to steer clear, because I don't want them treating me like some cage animal. They throw things at you. And I have books and bags in my purse, and I'm walking around in these little shoes that I think I bought from Payless or something, and they are soaked already. It's raining outside. I have my umbrella, and I'm thinking I need to close the umbrella, and maybe I can stick that through the gate, and then maybe stick my purse through the gate, but then people are going to see it, take it, laugh at me, and poke at me. So I thought to myself, well, maybe I should just act like I'm supposed to be here, because I don't want anybody to be laughing at me. And mind you, I'm in Harlem. So, and I'm not saying anything about Harlem. It's going through a lot of regentrification. However, I'm not a fool either. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? So I go back to the door that I just came from and start banging on the door. And I'm thinking to myself, those people are nowhere near this door. They're not even going to hear me. So let me tell you how thick this door is. I'm banging on it, and it just felt like I was just kicking at a brick. It wasn't making barely a sound. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I'm thinking, I'm feeling like a caged wildebeest. I'm like, what do they want from me? Why is this happening to me? Is this so I can write this on the blog? Is this so I can put it in the podcast? Why me? Why? And it's raining. Oh my gosh. So I don't know what to do. So I start banging on the door. Nobody comes to the door. So I'm getting ready to start panicking. And I start to walk back towards the gate again, like maybe I missed an opening. No, they have closed up all the openings in the gate. And not only closed them up, but then you know how at the bottom of the gate you can like lift it and try to stick your body through there? No, that was sealed as well. So I'm like, okay, now I'm a caged wildebeest. I have no idea what I'm going to do. And so now I'm going to have to figure this out. People, I just want to let you know, I just start kicking and banging on that door. Thank God, some guy, the red guy that I just saw upstairs, because I didn't want to scare him, he opened the door, and I'm like, oh, Jesus, thank you. He opened the door, and he said, where were you going? I was like, apparently nowhere, sir. Like, really? Like, why are you asking me dumb questions at this point? Where did you think I was going? Apparently nowhere. So I was like, I was trying to go home. So he's laughing at me. He's like, you weren't going anywhere. I said, I know I wasn't going anywhere. I just would have been there until Monday when somebody decided to open the place up. So he's like, well, ma'am, I don't know. And he's trying to say this through tears because he is cracking up at me at this point. I'm glad he thought it was funny. I'm telling you, panic. I said, okay. I was like, okay, sir, hardy har. And I went out the other door. I'm like, okay, I'm not messing with New York. I'm not messing with your schools. I'm not messing with these crazy doors. I'm just walking out the door that I came in. Please, you need further directions. Don't go out this way. Now, when they said the NYPD was going to arrest me if I went out the other door, I didn't go out that door. So there was no sign on this door saying don't go out of this door because they're going to lock the place up and you'll just be locked like a caged animal in this place with nowhere to go and you're outside. Anyway, so I survived that episode. It was absolutely crazy, and I lived to tell the story. All right, now we're going to get into our special guest. I'm so excited to have her on here. You know, as I said before, I'm not a parent, so it's easy for me to talk about what you should and shouldn't do as a parent. I'm just really looking at it from an administrative standpoint of being in the school and seeing some of the interesting parents that have come through my office. However, I really wanted to start this conversation off by having a parent on the show. So without further ado, she is awesome. I've known